What's up, IGTV? It's your favorite and only crazy coach coming to you live this week with Controlling Your Crazy and Creative Magazine. This week's topic, we are talking to the non-existent boyfriend. Yes, that's right, ladies. We are talking to the non-existent boyfriend and we are picking his brain. We want to know what makes the non-existent boyfriend make women go crazy, and then more importantly, why are women going crazy? So this week we are going to talk to the non-existent boyfriend. He is right here, and without further ado, I want to welcome Tavares. Tavares, nice to have you.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so let's get right to it. We want to jump into these juicy topics. So, Tavares, the women want to know. We already know what controlling your crazy means, right? It means controlling those emotions that make you go crazy over a man who is not your man. And the non-existent boyfriend, like Mr. Tavares here, right, is the man who women expect to act as his man, right? Do things, say things, buy things, but he's not her man. He's non-existent emotionally. So the first question is, and we want you to be really honest, why do you think women go crazy over a man they hardly even know?
I think most women create their own crazy. I think a lot of women come into a relationship with the mindset that I might have to act crazy to really let him know how I feel about him, or to get him to really like me, or to let him know that I'm serious about him. So I think that's how a lot of women create their own crazy.
You hear that, ladies? So let me ask you this. You know, a lot of men can be guilty of feeding women emotions, telling them sweet nothings, knowing good doggone well they are not going to end up with them. So why do men do this? Why do they make women believe that they'll be in their life for the long haul when really they're not?
Because a lot of times men, they are or they do like the female, but they want them temporarily. So they give them what they want for the time being to get what they want. So even though it's not long term, they still give you what you want for that time.
Very interesting. So now that we are getting closer to why men do this, it's important that we control our crazy. And I can't stress that enough. We know that some men don't have our best interest at heart. And we can't fight every guy that's like that, right? In a perfect world, men will treat you like a queen, but not every guy wants that. So going back to our non-existent boyfriend here, what is the craziest thing you think you've done, and then how did that woman react? Okay, so let me bring the question back just a little bit. What's the craziest thing a woman has ever done that wasn't really your girl, right? No title. What's the craziest thing she's ever done where you just kind of had to say, whoa, this is crazy?
Well, for me, I think the craziest thing a woman has ever done is try to create a friendship with your parents. So I've had a female that I wasn't serious with. She reached out to my mom to try to, create a relationship, or, pretend to be something that she really wasn't. So I think that's the craziest thing.
And I've heard that before. I've actually written about that on the Controlling Your Crazy blog, right? Trying to get your non-existent boyfriend to meet your parents, right, ladies? That won't work. He can meet your parents and you can meet his. If he doesn't want to be with you, you have to control that crazy because it won't work. But now I'm gonna hit Mr. Tavares here with a little curveball, right? So we know time and time again, men like to throw that word around, crazy. Why do you think that's the word men go to? Why crazy? Why not emotionally irrational or, emotionally overbearing? Why crazy?
Because crazy is the most aggressive word. Like, it's more aggressive than the other words. Other words seem like, okay, she has something she can work on. Crazy means she's out of control. Like, there's nothing to be done about it. She's overboard. So that's why we use the word crazy, because it gives it a little bit more flair.
I like that, right? And that's part of the reason why I say Controlling Your Crazy, because it does have that intensity, right? It's kind of over the top. So would you consider a woman texting you too many times a day crazy?
Well, it's not crazy until it gets to the point where it's a text saying, okay, why aren't you responding to my last text? Or I've texted you several times, why haven't you texted me back? That type of stuff. So that's when it becomes crazy.
Right. It sounds like when she gets too intrusive, right, or crosses those lines, then it's considered crazy.
Right. Because clearly you haven't responded because you're busy. So I'll respond when I get time.
Right. And we really know, though, Tavares, nobody is that busy where they can't respond to a text or a phone call.
Well, you never know.
Right. I guess it all depends on the person. So do you think men purposely call women crazy to kind of get them out of their lives or cut them off?
It's not to get them out of their lives. It's a word we use around other people to explain the behavior that this lady's giving, these behaviors. So we don't use it to kind of push the person away. We use it more as an example of, or a way of explaining this person, or you know.
See, we're getting some really good advice, ladies, and I hope you're tuning in now. Let me tell you, it's gonna get real juicy, and I'm going there right now. Of all these women that you're thinking of, Tavares, right? Let's be honest. Have you been intimate with those ladies?
Of course.
Okay, so would you say that sex plays a role in a woman being crazy?
Oh, all day. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
A huge role.
I knew it. It always boils down to sex. I mean, have you been in a situation where you weren't intimate with a girl, but she still acted crazy?
Most of the time, in my situations, they don't become crazy until you become intimate.
Oh, so we have a ladies' man here who, once they get a little bit of Tavares, right, they tend to go a little crazy. But he's not the only one, because I have heard of so many situations that once women take it there with men, that's typically when they call them crazy. So that goes to show you that emotions have a strong connection to sex. So if you know you're that type to get a little crazy, and you might agree with me, don't go there. Don't have sex if you know that that's going to be a problem. All right. So, by your own definition, would you consider the non-existent boyfriend to be a bachelor? Would you equate those two things? Would you say a non-existent boyfriend is just a single guy, a bachelor? What does that mean to you, a non-existent boyfriend?
I think the non-existent boyfriend is a bachelor or a quote-unquote player. Sometimes a person that has that are in multiple relationships. Maybe not serious relationships, but relationships where they do have, you know, multiple people, and they're able to spend time with multiple people. So this crazy girl or these crazy women become crazy because a lot of times they feel like they're not getting the necessary time. So yeah.
So I want you to look right into the camera and tell the ladies this. Do you think most non-existent boyfriends date multiple women at a time?
I do.
Oh, I knew it, and I say it all the time. That's why you can't go crazy, because the non-existent boyfriend isn't just dating you. He's dating multiple women, and like Tavares said, if you think he's gonna devote 100% to you while he's still a single bachelor, you've got it twisted. Until you guys have a title or he plays a significant role in your life, he's going to be dating, and you should too. So, what would you recommend to women on how to control their crazy? Because they know my definition, right? I talk about it all the time on my blog. I talk about it in Creative Magazine. But what would you say? What would you tell women on how to control their crazy? What should they do?
Well, I'm gonna get a lot of kickback from the guys on this. But a lot of times, the women, like I said, they create their own crazy. So the main thing is to set boundaries up front. So you let the guy know, okay, if you're serious, then let's date or whatever the case may be. But if you're not serious, let me know. A lot of times guys will be honest with you and upfront if you give them that option. So giving the guy that option allows him to give you a lot more information about it. But if you go into it like, oh, you're so serious about the relationship, then he's going to pretend to be serious also.
Oh.
But after a while, you're going to find out that's when you become crazy.
So do you think being honest hinders single women? Should we be honest? Because it sounds like when we're honest, it could hurt us, and then in the long run, we end up being crazy. So how should we approach it when we first meet the non-existent boyfriend? Should we be honest, or should we just kind of play it cool and let him take the lead?
Well, honesty plays a huge role. Being honest, a lot of times you're going to be hurt in the end regardless. So why not be honest up front? And if you're hurt up front, then you don't really lose anything, opposed to not being honest and pretending to be cool with it, and then you're being hurt on the back end. So a lot of times, in a lot of situations, you're going to be hurt regardless. So being hurt up front or being hurt on the back end, I mean, whichever you prefer. So.
Wow. Listen, I hope you've got as much as I got from this. I mean, it doesn't get any better than this. Talking directly to the non-existent boyfriend is like literally going into his brain, right, or his bedroom and getting the answers that we need. Next week, we will be delivering much more and talking to a group of guests. We want to thank Mr. Tavares. Thank you. Yes, our non-existent boyfriend. And don't forget to visit me, your only crazy coach, at www.controllingyourcrazy.com. And you can find me in Creative Magazine at Creative Magazine or CreativeMag.com, right? That's creative with no E. And until next time, it's your favorite and only crazy coach, Toni. Peace.